everyone. Daryl from Chain Out Podcast here. Welcome along to episode 4 of the Chain Out Fantasy Disc Golf League podcast. I think that's what we're calling it now. Welcome along, Jeremy. How are you doing?
Doing well. You're right, Daryl. That is a mouthful getting through that one, but I'm excited to once again attempt to rise to the top this week.
Yeah. We're doing the 10 A tiers. Maybe by episode 10, we might actually get a proper title for this episode.
That's right. We'll have,
Yeah.
like all of these other tournaments, it might just be initials, like
Yeah,
even
exactly.
the one this week.
Yeah. Yeah, and always, as we have a special guest along, today we've got Brock Cicchetti. How you doing?
Good. Happy to be here.
Good. Welcome back to the podcast. You've been on the regular show.
Yep.
Now we're going to try and pit your wits against us in the fantasy episode. How do you feel like you're going to do?
Well, as I spoke to Jeremy on the course at River City Cup this week, I was course officialing, so I was sitting there under my tent, hotspotting my phone to research, prepare for today.
Wow.
So I feel pretty good, and I have a big legacy to follow up, because if I don't win, all I'm going to hear from Tim is how he did better than I did. So,
well, for those... I mean, because we probably should mention that the episode, this week's A tier is the larger than life event happening in Whitehorse in Yukon.
Yes.
And the field isn't as big as probably they would have liked, and that we would have liked for a fantasy episode. So the picks are going to change a little bit. The format's going to change a little bit. Why don't you tell us exactly how the picks are going to go down this week, this episode, Jeremy?
Yes. So normally what we'll do is we'll pick 3 MPOs and 3 FPOs, but the field for the FPOs is only 3 people this tournament. The MPO field is still big enough that we will each pick 3 MPOs. Points will still work as normal. 5 for the winner, 3 for podium, and 1 for top 10. And then we'll do the same thing on the FPO side, but because there's only 3 players, we each get to pick 1, and that's going to leave us with 5 for the winner, and then the other 2 people are going to get 3. And we'll keep it along there, because what we want to do is we want to bring a lot of attention to these tournaments, especially this larger than life that's starting out, so that when it comes around next year, we've got a full arsenal of people to pick from, and we'll just continue to help this tournament grow in the little way that we can do it.
Yeah, absolutely. So before we get into this week's episode, we should probably recap. You know, we've kind of teased it already that Jeremy didn't do as well as he would like, but I mean, you could insert that into any episode. But let's go and let's go and have a look at the results from the last episode. So I'm just going to bring this up here. So you can read all the names, you can read all the members of each individual teams and all that, but really all we want to focus on is the white numbers down the bottom. Team J Powell 8 points. Ryan from Team Local Disc Golf with 6 points.
And
double digit shambles, that's what it is. 12 points for Team Shambles. And interestingly, if you just want to have a look there as well, that every person on my team got me a point.
Yes. Good job on that, Daryl. You guys, everybody had great teams, as we always say. These are just amazing players. But one thing I was starting to think about is that we should maybe add for next year, I'm planting the seed now, is there should be a bonus set of points somehow, is if your player gets a tournament ace, because my player, Kirby Snyder, maybe didn't get a place in the top 10, but he did have the one and only ace in the MPO field on the weekend. So maybe there's some points to be had there next year.
It doesn't look like it would have helped Jeremy.
No, exactly. Anything you can do to get extra points, right, Jeremy?
That's right. I'll come up with other ones as I get going along here.
Yeah.
Highest placing Canadian should get me a point, and different things like that. Or I guess that would have been Casey for Ryan, but
yeah, no. So with those points, let's add those points to the previous 3 events. Sorry, previous 2 events.
So overall, over 3 events now, I'm sitting with 23 points at the bottom. Flip those points around, get 32 points, and you're going to be on our guest team. And then add a couple more points to that, you'll have 34 points, and you'll be at the looky. I think that your team next year is going to be called Team Looky myself, but Team Shambles.
Yeah, absolutely. One thing I should mention there for the points that we got this week, with me taking down the win with 12 points, that means that somebody is going to get a $10 gift card from BR Disc Golf. Um, just want to throw that out there. Thanks, Brendan, for sponsoring the podcast. 10 points gets you a $10 gift card. If anyone gets to 15 points, we'll be giving away a $15 gift card. Hasn't happened yet. We haven't come close, but if anyone does get over 20 points, a $20 gift card will be up for grabs as well.
Well, not 20 points in total, right? It's 20 points in one event, I guess, because I'm at
Correct.
23 now. I just got there. And the other thing we should mention is the first two tournaments we have $10 gift cards. We're giving them out, and that's going to be random based on everybody who follows us and is part of the chain out community. But then for this last one, it's going to be a much smaller pool because as we made it very, very clear, you needed to comment either on our YouTube video or vote and comment on our Instagram post. And that's going to be the same way we're going to give away a gift card this week if anybody earns it.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So, taking the wins so far, Team Tree Love took down the one win for the guest, but Team Shambles now has 2 wins. I'm sorry, how many wins? I didn't quite see it there. I didn't see how many wins you had, Jeremy.
Well, when you come full circle, you end up at a 0, I think, is where I'm at.
Yeah.
3 moral victories.
That's right.
Yeah. You did mention the fan vote there. We did put our teams out on Instagram. There was a pinned post. Go to check it out. As soon as this episode is live on YouTube, we'll have our teams on Instagram. It'll be a pinned post. Little vote button. Click on the vote button. You'll get to vote for your favorite team. Don't vote for Team JPal.
Oh, please
But
do.
last event, Team JPal took down the fan vote.
Well, Team JPal convincingly took down the fan vote. When you've got Sophia Donica and Thomas Gilbert on your team, what else do you need, right? I guess it was in this case we needed a Chanimal to help us out, but
yeah, that's it. Yeah, but as we should mention as well, the fan vote only comes into play if we are tied on tournaments and points. If one person has the most amount of points, one person has the most amount of tournament wins, then we'll go to the fan vote for deciding. So
there you go. So that brings us to this week's tournament, the larger than life, happening July 5th through 7th. And it is being held at Solstice Disc Golf Park in Whitehorse, Yukon Territory. Have either of you guys, I think Daryl and I, we've talked. Brock, have you ever been up north past Alberta, past the provinces and into the territories?
I've my first time going as far as Fort McMurray was last year. So no, vacations were always down, not up.
Well, I can tell you, anybody who's considering it, I've mentioned it before. I've been up to Whitehorse, I've been to Dawson City, and also Yellowknife through work in my past. And I'd say when you can go in the summer, take that chance every day. If it comes to the winter, then maybe like Brock said, head a little further south.
Yeah.
But they've got a great area. One of the things in Whitehorse for sure, if you were up there or if you were thinking of going up there, you go check out Yukon Brewing. They've got a nice brewery there. We get a lot of that beer down here, but you can go and get it straight from the source. So, and you know how we like our beer, right, Daryl?
Absolutely. And one other thing we should mention as well is that Parked Pro are heading out there as well. So they will be recording this event. So if you're interested in it, keep a lookout for that. I'm sure it'll be, Matt will get his drone up and we'll have some amazing footage up there. Like they said when we had them on the podcast last week, that they'll probably burn out their cameras with the amount of footage that they're going to be trying to get up there.
Between that and then we can't wait to hear what that intro is going to be like for his first Territories intro.
Yeah. Well, we should get to the picks because that's what we're all about.
Yes.
And the format for the picks this week, we've changed it up a little bit, but I think that from going forward, I think we're going to stick with this kind of format.
Yes. So what we did this week was we took the positions of last week, me being in third, the guest being in second, and Team Shambles, Daryl over there in first. So third place got to choose what position they wanted to pick this week. So I chose first place. And then Brock got to choose as second from last week which position he'd like to pick. And you picked?
Number 2.
number 2, and that leaves Daryl in the 3rd position. So I'll get pick 1, Brock pick 2, Daryl 3, 4, back to Brock for 5, and continue on in that snake draft formation.
Yeah, sounds good. So I'll hand it over to you. You've got the first pick. You can do the honors.
Well,
Let's get this draft underway.
So as we talked about when we looked at these players, there's a number of them that we need to still get to know. We still have to get familiar with them, and I took as much time as I could looking through there, but there were a couple of names that just shot right out at me that were the names I already knew from other tournaments we followed. So right now, with my first pick for Team JPOW, I'm going to take a 909 rated player from Victoria, BC, who won the Cascade Challenge this year in the FP40 division and was second at the TCO. Team JPOW would like to welcome Christy Lee. Thank you. Thank you. Welcome to the team.
It's a good pick.
Yeah. There you go. You guys can scratch that off the top of your list as well and then start looking at your next picks. And that will be my one and only FPO pick as we're doing for this one.
Yes.
Okay. So, as you guys know, my game is pretty simple. If I can take the forehand line, I'm going to go with it.
Yeah.
So, Team Flick.
Oh, we didn't even
with the second overall with the second overall pick. 2023 BC Junior Disc Golf Champion, 3-time Duck Golf Champion, out of Victoria, BC, Luke Levesque.
Nice. Oh. Great choice. Great choice there, Brock. And yes, Team Flick, that's the thing. If a couple things about Brock, if you haven't watched the other episode, which we know you're going to go watch his full episode, but he's the vice president of the Edmonton Disc Golf Association this year, and he's got one mean forehand that I've seen a number of times. On top of that, he's a disc dyer in his spare time. He does a lot of cool things in disc golf. So Team Flick is very fitting.
And a great player to play with because he doesn't like to waste time.
No.
He's a player that I like to play with.
Probably the fastest player we've seen, in the fact that when Brock steps up to the tee box, you think he's about to do his lineup in that, but no, he's just throwing the disc. You don't have time to even think about it. The disc is out of his hand before on the first 5 steps on the box or whatever it is.
I like it.
I usually walk to the front and then walk to the back and throw.
Oh, okay.
Right. There's no pump fakes. You don't have to worry about overstepping when someone's going to take their throw. You know that it's already out of his hand before you even looked at it. So, yeah. Okay. 2 great picks. I am going to switch it up again. Well, yeah. Okay. So, Team Shambles with the first over.
Is already mixing up your picks. Is that what you're saying? You're already straying from the game plan?
A little bit. Brock kind of threw me off a little bit, but I, Team Shambles, would like to welcome to the team with our first overall pick from Whitehorse, Yukon Territory, an 836 rated player, 7 career wins. Recently, in 2024, a first at the NADGT Canada exclusive in Whitehorse, 3rd at the 17th annual Maui Open supported by Innova. We would like to welcome Brianne Levia.
Nice. Good choice there. Good job, Team Shambles. So that's your FPO pick done?
Yeah, that's my FPO pick done. For my second pick, we would like to welcome, let me just pull up this person's stats, from Homer, Alaska. A 991 rated player, dropping 5 points this recent update. Has been a PDGA professional since 2007. A host of career events, 105 career wins. Never finished outside the top 10 this season. We would like to welcome Eden Badajoz.
Yeah, there you go. Well, that's awesome. You know what's funny is I was looking at his history there too, because I definitely had Eden up on my top of my list as well. And Daryl, how many times have I told you that the Pork Pie Classic has got to be one of my favorite names of any tournament?
Yeah.
When I was looking, I think I've got a new favorite, and that's Eden had won the Moose Pretzel,
Pretzel.
tournament.
Yep.
Yeah.
So if there's more to that title, I don't know, but to me, just it rolls off the tongue. It's hilarious.
It's good.
And it was their 20th anniversary. We've been
Right.
around for a while.
That's right. So that brings us right back to Team Flick.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm gonna keep it in the family here.
Mm.
Also from Homer, Alaska. 2013 MJ1 Alaska State Champion. Currently 934 rated. Jai Barhados.
Yes. And also third at the Moose Pretzel. I'm going to look for every opportunity to bring that up. All right. Well, that brings it back to me. And with our first MPO pick, we're going to go for a 935 rated player out of Whitehorse, Yukon Territories. Hasn't played a tournament since last year, but he won the NADGT event that does take place in Whitehorse. We're going to welcome Alan Hill to Team J-POW.
Oh.
And then with our third pick, we have a 963 rated player out of Haines, Alaska. It's got a really great name. Loving this guy's name. He's played 2 events and just started this year, but I'm expecting big things out of him at this tournament. We're going to welcome Jeremy Reed to Team J-POW.
Okay. You're throwing me off a little bit, Jeremy, because your list is not, in past events we've kind of, you can kind of work down your list as you take the picks that, and the guest takes the picks that I've already got laid out, but
right.
Not so this episode.
Yeah. He's gone off my list as well. So
yeah. Well,
who knows what could happen?
Yeah.
Anything can happen in this. Sometimes I have to maybe mix up my strategy as well just to see, because I think I've got it all figured out. But in this case, I just kind of took a couple different looks at my list.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we'll see if it pays off for you.
But so heading right back to Brock.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I think he just registered because he wasn't on my list from earlier in the weekend.
Oh my.
From Whitehorse, a local. Moving up from MA1, 925 rated, Travis Banks.
Yeah. Nice.
I have a feeling that our lists might be quite similar. So that would send it back over to me for 2 picks.
Yes, it would.
My final 2 picks. No, do I get 2 picks?
No, you get 2 picks now, and then you're going to get 1 on the way back down. This one's going to work a little bit differently just to the way the snake's going to go.
Aren't we doing 3 MPO?
3 and 1. 3 and 1 is
so
what
this
we
would be
Yeah,
my
so he'll
last
be
pick.
done.
Yeah.
Oh, you'll be done.
I got 1 pick. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. There you go. You are right.
Yeah, exactly. So, with my final pick for Team Shambles from Whitehorse, Yukon Territory, a 908 rated player since 2021. So right in our wheelhouse. An MA1 player, 5th at the NADGT. I would like to welcome Caden Smith to the team.
Nice. It's very interesting because as we were talking about with these lists and looking through them, Caden's going to probably perform fantastic, but I couldn't pick everybody. I didn't have Caden on my list, but it was hard to say who makes the list specifically and who doesn't for this tournament.
Mm-hmm.
But that sounds like you've filled out a great team there. So that's going to bounce right back to Brock for your last pick.
Yeah. So we're going to the FPO division.
Yes.
The scouting department had to dig deep for this one. We've got a multi-sport athlete in bodybuilding.
Ooh.
First place figure novice 2023 CPA Natural Van City Showdown.
Oof.
Second place in the Apex Energy Services Lip Sync Battle 2019 Yukon Rendezvous. Out of Whitehorse, Lee Adamski.
That is great research, Brock. And I think if I can add one thing to put a little bit more for Lee there, I did take a look and checked out the Instagram profile, and we got a quote that says, "A guy's girl with a touch of pink and a business degree." So bring that to disc golf, and I think she's going to light it up. So
I don't know if I should be worried or concerned that you guys are going to these players' profile, Instagram profiles and checking them out. Like, I'm not going that deep into their, social media to figure out. I mean, I know there's not a lot of background on some of these players, but this is bordering on stalking, Jeremy.
oh, well, you know what? I don't know about you, Brock, but in my careers in the past, I've done some hiring and that type of
Hmm.
thing. And when you're doing hiring, Daryl, it's better to find information out early than to find out after you've already brought them on board. So
Fair.
that's where this comes from. So I never feel too many qualms about it. So
It was all on the front page of Google.
yeah, if you didn't put it there, if you didn't want it out there, you wouldn't put it out there.
Oh,
So
that's true.
yeah. So this is going to leave me with my final pick, and I've got a 912 rated player out of Whitehorse, Yukon Territories. Plays the NADGT Whitehorse every year over the last 3 years. Also an MP40 player, and anybody in that 40 division is right up my alley. I'm going to welcome Jesse DeVos to the team. So that's going to fill out Team JPOW for this week.
There we
Now
go.
I think if we're quiet for a moment, we can hear everybody cheering and celebrating our picks and starting to argue about who's got the better team. And when they figure it out, you know what they're going to do, Daryl? They're going to go to the post and they're going to vote for the team that they think is best, right?
Absolutely. That's what they're
Yeah.
going to do.
And I think, you might think it's Team Shambles, but last week proved it that Team JPOW on paper always looks good.
Yeah, and we've said it before. Any one of these teams, especially with these divisions, really any one of these teams could be taking down the win, or the points totals. Like it's going to be so close, it could go anyway.
Yeah. And I'm thinking, I don't know what you say, Brock, but one of the things that's going to happen is this is a little known tournament this year, this specific year. But they're having a whole week of disc golf. They have a pro tournament, they have an AM tournament. When you take a look and see, if I go back to the page here, they've got music, they got games, they got skills competitions, they got food, they got beer, they've got at the softball Yukon Pepsi Center. So they're even in a big facility area that they're going to be having all of this stuff. Parked Pro is going to go up there. They're going to video it in the only way that they know how, and that's amazing. So we're going to see all of this amazing footage when they come back. And then next year, we're probably all going to be marking this one on our calendars and watching for seat sales to Whitehorse, or trying to plan how we can shove 6 people in a van to drive the 14 hours or whatever it takes to get up there.
Yeah. They're doing it right. It's a whole week of stuff to do starting on Canada Day. So, again, it's one of those ones where I wish I could have gone, because it looks like it's going to be an awesome event.
Well, and as a tournament director yourself, you can kind of take a look at this with that tournament director eye and see whether they're just throwing something together or whether they're really properly investing the time. And I think they are. And from your viewpoint, you can see that too.
Oh yeah, just like the number of venues, a new course layout, again, pulling together the food and the music and all that. Like, that's way more than I've done for a tournament. So,
well, and I don't know, Daryl, I know this isn't always the place to do it, but we should shout it out, I think, is the fact that the tournament that you are going to be tournament directing next is the Alberta Hospital fundraiser that we're doing out at Niskapaskwauk for any EDGA members. So there's still some room to register for that tournament. And that's a great one-day tournament that's not PGA sanctioned, but there's a recreational and a competitive level, tons of prizes, tons of raffle, silent auction. There's a lunch. It's just, I attended it last year and it was a fantastic event. So I think we should put a shout out for that as well.
You asked
thanks.
Brock to explain it, and then you just proceeded to tell Brock exactly what.
So Brock,
happened.
what did I miss?
So changes this year.
Okay.
Can we get an exclusive?
I mean, I haven't put out the social media posts, but Edmonton Symphony Orchestra is also donating a pair of tickets to
Awesome.
any performance in 2024, I think.
Oh, and they do some
So that's
fantastic ones.
Yeah.
that's a new one that's come on. We're going to be adding 3 or 4 holes to the layout because it went so fast last year. So I've got 6 options. I just need to narrow down from there, kind of thing. So
yeah, I don't know if the 24-hole layout would really be.
no, that's a lot of golf.
Yeah,
Yeah.
playing that twice in a row.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
like playing
48
two and
holes.
a half rounds.
Yeah. So yeah,
Awesome.
lots of room.
Well, and so everybody out there, maybe if you do vote, why am I trying to promote Team Flick? I'm thinking like if you promote Team Flick, maybe that'll get you some currency there when you get over to Alberta Hospital Tournament and maybe get an extra hot dog at lunch or something like that.
Well, not many people are going to be voting for you, so you have to promote.
Oh, ouch!
You have to promote
Again.
Team Flick because you don't want them to vote for me. I
just
it.
pulled the last knife out of my heart, and you just stuck another one in there. So yeah. So what else do we got to cap off the larger than life fantasy picks, Daryl?
What we should do is we should just review our teams.
Yes.
So Team J Powell, you had the first overall pick. So why don't you give us a rundown of your 4 players?
Perfect. My FPO player is Christy Lee out of Victoria. And then after that, I have Alan Hill, Jeremy Reed, and Jesse DeVost capping out my team.
Yeah, sounds good. Team Flick, Brock, you went second. So let's give a rundown of your team.
Okay, so my first overall pick was Luke Levesque, followed up by Jai Badajos, Travis Banks, and then in FPO, Lee Adamski.
Yeah. I'm kind of curious, seeing as the 2 FPO picks went early. Did you change your game plan? Like was you always going to pick Lee Adamski last? Or once you've seen that was your only pick to pick,
it was if first pick didn't pick FPO.
Right.
I was picking FPO first.
Yeah.
If not, I was picking FPO last.
Well, when you think about it, FPO, the winner's going to get 5, and then the other 2 players are going to get 3. So there was probably no rush after if you thought that the player picked was going to take first.
Living up to Team Shambles' name, I thought it was 5 points for first, 3 points for second, and 1 point for third. So that's why I picked my pick second. But now you mentioned that was a good strategy to not actually waste my FPO pick first. But
I don't think you wasted it because I think you knew that Brienne is going to give Christy a good run for her money, and that if Brienne is the one who's going to win, you didn't want to leave her for Brock because that would have been 5 points you just handed over.
Well, that's true. I mean, that's what, if I really think about it, that was my thinking.
That was the strategy.
Yeah. But just to recap my team. So I went with Brienne Levia, Eden Badajos.
Badajos.
I have to do this again. I missed somebody off my team. Brienne.
Didn't you have Caden?
Caden. Who else did I pick? I didn't write it down.
Jesse?
No, Jeremy went with Jesse, Jeremy, and Alan.
What's going to be awesome is that if you didn't pick your 4th after I said you have another one, no, I'm done.
It couldn't.
Then you're going to get to pick one at the last.
I think I picked somebody. I just didn't write it down.
Well,
I only have 7 names crossed out on my list.
Did I couldn't have missed one because I said I took Brianna and then Eden.
This is high quality entertainment here, friends.
Well, this is the part we can edit.
Or we could leave in just to enjoy.
Did I just pick? I think I didn't pick my last pick. I only picked one, and I should have picked 2.
Yeah, I think you're right. Because if you think about it, we went down to you.
Yeah.
You picked your 2.
Because I picked 1.
Up, went back down, and you only picked 1.
Yeah.
So at this point here,
Okay,
Who
so
is going to fill out Team Shambles? But at least,
Okay.
you know what? You're living up to the name, so it's perfect.
Yeah. And it wouldn't have affected my pick because I was done with MPO. So.
Yes.
Right.
So there is no real
So
change that way.
okay, so I don't know how I'm going to edit this together, but okay.
I
So
think you just
Well, you
put
gotta
some of
leave
this
it.
in here
Yeah.
for fun.
okay, so
Back
I
up to the
wouldn't-
table with his final pick, Team Shambles.
now I got to go back to my list and see who's been picked. And you know what? It would have been Jesse DeVost.
Out of Toronto, Ontario,
you got him.
Thomas Gilbert.
Okay, so with Team Shambles' last pick, out of Whitehorse, Yukon Territory, currently 888 rated, 3 career events, not 3 career wins, but 3 career events. Hasn't played a game or hasn't played a tournament since 2019 in the MA1 division, and that event was the BC Open.
Yes.
Team Shambles welcomes Benjamin Monkman.
Woohoo! Yes, and
Eventually.
he placed 33 at the BC Open, which was,
Yeah.
you know, to me, if you're an MA1 and you're at a tournament with 457 or 500 people, however it is, that MA1 division is big. When I went to TCO, I remember there was over 65 people in my division, so 33 could easily be in the upper half.
Yeah.
Well, that's
So
all
there you
right.
go. We got there in the end. Like I say, it wouldn't be, I got to live up to the name, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. You just like put some nice star wipes in there.
Exactly.
Just put your last pick in.
Well, if we want to...
Okay, so Team Shambles, give you an update on my team. First overall pick, I went with Brianne Levia. Second, Edan Badajos, Caden Smith, and then rounded out my team with Benjamin Monkman.
Nice work. You know, the one thing for me with Benjamin Monkman there was the fact that he was 888 rated. I don't know what it is, but sometimes when you get 3 numbers in a row, or if you get your lucky numbers there, that might be a thing. It's like if somebody's PDGA number is a specific way, if it was like 121212, something like that, then that would be, I would just get addicted to that number feature as opposed to anything the player's done.
Well, and I guess like the PDG actually sees membership spikes when they get closer to like whole numbers.
Yes.
So like when you get close to like 1,000 or 10,000 or 100,000, you'll get a whole bunch of people going in right at the same time trying to get it.
Right.
Well, not long after Daryl and I both joined the PDGA, that's when they got up to 250,000. And then I remember the player who ended up getting it, I think they gave them a disc or something else like that to commemorate them having that number.
Yeah.
Awesome. So you can see that, but that's like, that's 250,000. You're not going to see that for a number of years. But
okay, so that wraps it up. We've done our picks. We have our teams.
Thanks for joining us, Brock.
Yeah. Thank you for
having us. You can shake my hands as a victor next week at Rundle.
There you go. We can all kind of, and the thing is, as we talked about before, Daryl, and you had mentioned it, is the nice thing about this is anybody who's paying attention with us, you know, the 3 of us will be at Rundle, or we might be somewhere on the weekend, and we're going to send each other a text to say, oh, did you see what Eden did? Or did you see Jai's taking Eden down? And we'll kind of go through round by round. And what does it do? It puts more attention on Canadian disc golfers. And that's exactly what this is all about.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, the more attention we can draw to this event, and it's a brand new event as well. So, thank you for being here, Brock.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you for showing up, Jeremy.
You're welcome, Daryl.
Don't forget to head over to Instagram, find the post, vote for your favorite team. If you don't have Instagram, when you're watching this video, leave a comment below with your favorite team. You'll still be included for a chance to win a gift card from BR Disc Golf.
That's right. And we're going to have to work hard, and our teams are going to have to do well if we're going to hit that 10-point threshold this week. So.
Yeah.
But
maybe
I think
we might have to drop it this week.
We'll see. We'll negotiate it with our sponsor, who is
BR Disc Golf.
That's right. So thanks again, Brendan, for sponsoring the fantasy picks. We appreciate all your support. And don't forget, if you do want to order from BR Disc Golf, you can place an order out of Camrose for $5 shipping. You can pick up your order at Rundle on Thursdays at the Rundle League night. So that's a good way for you to get your discs. And he's got a lot of good selection, and we always appreciate. We saw a ton of it at Rundle with Zoe selling it here over the weekend. I ended up picking up what did I pick up there? Ooh, I picked up a Glow Crave is what I've got. So it's got a lot of good discs.
Yep.
Check it out and take advantage of it.
Awesome. Thanks again. Thanks. We'll see you on the next one.
Night, guys.
You betcha.